We're going to talk about sub-object modeling. Before we talked about creating shapes and how you can move, rotate, and scale them in your viewport, but a lot of times you're not going to just put shapes together to model. You're going to take these base shapes as a starting point, and then you're going to edit them and mold them to become whatever object you're dealing with. So any shape that you create, you can right mouse click and hold. You'll see we have these options up here. Today we're going to focus on vertex, edge, and face. Object mode will always bring you back to see the object as a whole and be able to grab and move it. If we go into vertex mode, those are the points where edges meet. Edge are the lines that connect the vertices. And then face mode are the polygons that they make. So you can see, for instance, with faces selected, I can use my move tool and I can move a face as a whole. And that's great because I can reshape my polygons this way. I can edit them. Same idea, I can go into vertex mode. I can select a single vertex and just move that one. So you can see I can transform my shape. Same with edge. You can select a single edge, move out. You can select multiple. So if let me undo this so we can see it a little bit better. If I am in edge mode, for instance, I can click on one edge, hold shift, click the next, hold shift, and click another one, so forth, to select whatever I want. I can also double click. So I'm going to click on one, let go, hold shift and double click, and it will select an edge loop. So for instance, I'll show you on a sphere. Right mouse click and hold, go into edge mode. I can double click and you can see that now I'm selecting that whole row of edges and I can move that independently. Now in Maya, your kind of go-to tools are going to be to insert edge loop and to extrude. So I'm going to start with a cube here. I'm going to go into my attribute editor and give it a few subdivisions, maybe just one on each side in addition. Okay. So let's say that I wanted to bring out just these two corner faces. Currently, as it stands, I can hold shift to select both of them, but if I use my move tool, you can see that I get some weird As it stands, I can select these two faces and pull them upward. But as you can see, it's affecting all of the geometry around it and causing some weird bends that wouldn't occur. So what I can do is click on those faces that I want, and I can go to Edit Mesh and Extrude. What Extrude does is it allows me to pull just those faces upward and not have to worry about affecting the faces next to it. Now you can go through this menu here and deal with thickness. Offset is kind of the same as scale, if you want them to kind of shrink inward or outward. Divisions, if you want to add divisions along your extrude. And what keep faces together will do, I'll show you. If you are extruding two faces that are right next to each other, I'll go to Edit Mesh, Extrude, and I'll move them up. You can see if I just click on one of the faces and I go to move it, that they're not actually connected. This is great for modeling if you're going to try to separate things, but if you know these are going to stay together, you have extra information here that you don't need. Whenever we have overlapping faces or information, it causes issues in our model. It's more faces that we need to think about that you're not even seeing or using. So what you'd want to do is when you go to extrude, if you keep faces together, they'll actually be attached. Now, if you find that you're looking through your model and that things aren't attached, what you can do is delete, and I'll just hit delete on my keyboard so that we don't have that information with the inside faces, and then we can bring these faces back together, kind of how they were, and you'll want to go into vertex mode and select the two vertices that are right next to each other, and we'll go to Edit Mesh, Merge to Center. And that merges the two. Now you'll need to do that to all of them, and unfortunately you can only go two at a time because they're merging whatever you select together. So if I were to, let's say, try to do these ones all at the same time, if I go to Merge to Center, it merges them all into one point. Something I highly recommend is you go to Display, Heads Up Display, and Poly Count. This will show you how many edges and faces and everything that you have selected. Let me make sure you can see what's going on in my screen. Let me make sure you can see what's going on in my screen here. So right now it's showing me that I have 3 vertices selected. So I'll just select these 2, and you select multiple by clicking and dragging over them. But we can see vertices. I have 2 selected. This column's always going to be what you have selected. There are 41 vertices in my object, and there are 41 vertices in my scene. So for instance, if I add a sphere to the scene, you can see I still have the 2 selected, or 1 selected now, 1 vertice selected out of the 41 here, but in my entire scene I have 423. Spheres are very high in their poly count. Alright, so I would just go in, select these 2, and I can double check that I have 2 selected right here. Edit Mesh, Merge to Center. So as you're modeling, you're going to want to go around and check, because at every point you should only have 1. And you'll see that I have 2 in a lot of places, so I'm going to need to fix all of these spots until I see 1 at all of them. You can always hit G, as in great, on your keyboard to redo your last action. So instead of having to go Edit Mesh, Merge to Center, Edit Mesh, Merge to Center, I can just click and drag and then hit G if there are any issues. Okay? So, well, I selected more than needed there. This works for any shape. And again, you can kind of have fun with this and play around, but I'll go into face mode and you can select random faces. If your gizmo is in the way, you can hit Q for your selection tool, and then you can go Edit Mesh and Extrude. Again, you can play with all these options to say how far out you want it to go, how thick or thin you want that polygon face to be, if you want to insert any divisions, and if you want to keep faces together. I also like to hit W for my Move tool and move it out. The difference is the Move tool is going to keep them moving in the same direction in accordance to your world or your viewport setup, whereas the Extrusion tool is going to do each one equal to the way that their face or their polygon was facing. You can extrude inward as well, but extrude is going to really give you a lot of freedom. Now, if you're making a weapon or a hammer or something, you may think, okay, well, the handle is going to be one piece and the mallet is going to be another, but really you're going to want to use extrude to create these pieces from one another. Another tool you're going to want to use is Insert Edge Loop. This one's found under your Mesh Tools. You can see here, Hide Modeling Toolkit. I already have mine open, so I'll just hide it so you can see. But you can bring back Show Modeling Toolkit, and that brings up a window here where your channel box and attribute editor are. And this is just kind of like 3ds Max, but it allows you to look at your different modes. And if you scroll down, you can see all of the tools that we have available. So just like we were extruding before, you can do it through here. You can multi-cut, etc., etc. But I'm going to go to Insert Edge Loop. And what Insert Edge Loop does is it creates a loop perpendicularly to whatever edge you click on. So I've got this horizontal edge, so this one I'm clicking and holding, I haven't let go yet. It's going to do a perpendicular edge loop and it's going to go all the way around. When we're modeling, it's really important that you are always thinking about edges in terms of loops. You want your edges to go all the way around your objects. Okay. If I want a horizontal one, I will just pick a vertical edge and I can put one in that way. Now you've got vertices created, new edges, and faces. We'll go over some more of these tools as the term goes on, but you really want to get comfortable with extruding, inserting edge loops, merging vertices together, and making sure that you can see your poly count to make sure everything is clean and well put together. You're going to want to focus working in loops.